Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 1 day time frame for Bitcoin, taking a look at these bigger support and resistance levels, because right now Bitcoin is trading inside this big level of resistance, sitting from 65,000 all the way up to $66,000 for the Bitcoin price. And in the case that we break out above 66K here, then the next big level of resistance is actually already sitting at 68,000 all the way up to 70,000 US dollars. Although if we now get a rejection from this big level of resistance, then the next big level of support is sitting from 62.4K all the way down to 60,000 US dollars. Although we could see some short-term support right here at about 63K. I will get into these shorter term levels of support in just a second here. For now, I would simply say so far so good. And as I have been saying for a long time at this point, so long as we do not lose 62K as a level of support, as far as I'm concerned, I'm expecting the Bitcoin price to continue to go higher. Although we should keep in mind that Bitcoin is now at the top of this descending channel that Bitcoin has been trading in for over 6 months at this point. And what we have seen every single time here at the top is that most people are very bullish and some people are extremely bullish, okay? So for now, my base expectation is that we are going to see continuation of this uptrend. But if we now start to see some kind of weakness in the Bitcoin price, then we need to start talking about a potential reversal back to the downside. Besides that, currently it is obviously Friday, and typically in the weekends we have lower volatility unless there is some kind of major news event. Over the weekend, I'm just expecting some choppy sideways price action, basically just sweeping the liquidity to the upside and to the downside. I do want to talk about this lower time frame though, because right now we're basically chopping on top of that 0.786 Fibonacci level, sitting at about 65.5K. And I do think this is an important level to keep an eye on, because if you take a look at the 1 day time frame, ideally you would see a daily candle close above this level here. Then basically you just see some chop over the weekend above this level and then potentially resume to the upside next week. That would kind of be the ideal scenario for the bulls here. Although do keep an eye on a potential close below here, because this could indicate that we have to see a bit of a cool off here in the Bitcoin price once again. But as I have been saying the entire time here, so long as we keep holding above this Fibonacci golden pocket, my base expectation is that we are going to keep going higher. So the key level to watch is this 0.786 Fibonacci level, as I said, at 65.5K. And if you really start to see some kind of sharp pullback or anything, the important level to watch is sitting from 62K all the way up to 62.7K. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all, on the 6-month time frame, where recently, again, we took out a lot of liquidity to the upside. We're talking about over $1 billion worth of short positions that got liquidated here at about 65.4K. Now, some of you guys may remember when we got this horizontal low in the Bitcoin price, and I was saying, yeah, this could already be the reversal signal here. And we had a ton of liquidity to the upside, with most of that being at about 70K. And I said multiple times here in this way up that it is very unlikely that the people that are shorting the Bitcoin price in the middle of a bull run aren't going to get punished for doing that. Now, so far, we've already taken out billions of dollars worth of short liquidations, but the big pocket here, the big level that everyone's kind of looking at, is this big level sitting at around 70,000 US dollars, which is this one right here. About $3.5 billion sitting at about 72K. And I do think Bitcoin is aiming at this, and it has been for quite some time. But every time here recently, we kind of fell short of actually grabbing that liquidity to the upside. So this is the main level to look out for. Again, sitting at about 67.4K for the Bitcoin price. If we start to break out above here, then we can start talking about much higher price action for the Bitcoin price. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today, and I saw something here that I did not really love. So we saw a net inflow of close to $400 million worth of Bitcoin being bought by these Bitcoin ETFs. And guys, what have we seen pretty much every single time we saw a massive inflow or we saw a massive outflow? Well, simply it meant that we got a reversal quite shortly thereafter. So the entire time that we were getting these inflows, I was saying basically so long as we keep seeing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin being bought every single weekday, likely this is going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price until I see some kind of abnormality like this, because this is actually slightly concerning in my opinion. Although obviously getting a massive inflow like this is also something that's going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price, but it's just the case that we also saw massive inflows right here and we saw massive outflows right here. That is making me a little bit anxious, but I guess we will have to wait and see. I don't want to really speculate too much on the longer term outlook or anything. My base case on this channel has been for a long time that we are basically just going to keep trading inside this range, and it can keep doing this for months. But my base case expectation is that at some point we are going to see a breakout up to this 70K level to grab all of this liquidity here. And do remember, guys, I've been talking about this descending channel for literally maybe 4 or 5 months at this point, and it has been the base case the entire time that we are going to get a continuation to the upside unless the pattern actually invalidates and we get some kind of breakdown. One last thing with regards to these Bitcoin ETFs, over the weekend, we are not going to see any inflows or outflows because the Bitcoin ETFs only trade on weekdays. So again, that is another reason why typically you have lower volume in the weekends. Either way, this has been today's market update. Don't forget to come join the Road to 1 Million community on Discord. I highly recommend joining this, guys, especially during a time like this. It is really nice to discuss in real time with a bunch of other people that are currently also trading Bitcoin and sharing their analysis. So if that is something you're interested in, the link is in the video description, and this is also completely free. There's also over 1,500 members inside this community. So yeah, feel free to come check it out. Either way, if you do end up checking it out or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.